To some degree.
Yes, Mama. What? Shlomo?
Yeah.
We're here. We just pulled in like half a minute ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't hang on anything.
Got it. Okay.
I think that we are on the second paragraph on page AYIN Ches. Is that confirmed?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, I'll ask you a question in a minute. So we are saying that yes, indeed, there is such a thing as higher and lower in oil itself. Which is, one would say, counterintuitive. Nonetheless, there's such a thing. And this we can actually see. As for example, we have Seichel. We have Seichel in Chochmah and Seichel in Bina. The oil in Chochmah is much superior to the oil in Bina. Even though both are oil of Moichin, of Seichel. And the reason for that is, there's a cause that causes this reduction in oil. That is the kelim. Because ultimately, the oil is mislabish in kelim, as we discussed way back when. The oil is apnimim, and therefore they are geared to be mislabish in kelim. The kelim are not an untoward, an unintended phenomenon. The oil seeks out kelim. And therefore it's mislabish in kelim at every level where there is kelim. There's kelim of chokhmah. The kelim of chokhmah are very refined and almost at the level of chokhmah. In other words, it slapshes the oil ha-chokhmah in kelim. There's hardly a loss of oil, even though it's in the kelim. Whereas in Bina, the kelim are much more present, much more of a tzius. And therefore, when the oil is mislabish in the kelim in Bina, there is a loss of brightness, of purity of oil. We discussed this, quite a bit, just to complete this statement. Clearly, there's a big difference in a seichel that requires a substantiation and proof versus a seichel that lends itself directly to be related to. That seichel is much closer to the nefesh than the seichel that requires elaboration and proof. For example, you don't need any proof to verify the statement that if you accumulate more one thing, there will be more there. If you make more money, you'll have more money. But there is a requirement of proof of seichel. This is on a general chokhmah level. But you need to do proof of seichel that if you add 1 and 1, it's 2. That does not automatically verify itself. That you have to go and prove to yourself. Because in being that the oil is reduced, and therefore it requires a keli level of substantiation. And therefore the oil, since it requires keli, even though it's seichel, if it needs substantiation, that means that the seichel is hidden. The purity, the verity of seichel is hidden, and you have to kind of bring it out, prove it. Vezehhu, thus this will explain to us the following. The fact that occasionally we find, meaning we find in sources, in Svarim and so forth, where it says, that in the higher madrigas, ha-misper, ha-meruba, yoser.
Oh yeah.
There's in terms of misper, of numbers, of count, it's a higher a number applies to higher madrigas. Madrigas achtenis, lower madrigas, mispayed ha-misper. The misper, the count, is lessened. Ule pa'omim l'hapech. But occasionally it's the opposite. That when there is more, and a low madriga is a greater number, and a high madriga is a lesser number. As we know regarding the principle of yichidus, I mean the single, we already did this, but I have to stop. Yichidus and asiris is tens, and meis is hundreds. The yichidus b'malchus, that the principle of yichidus, what you relate to things on a yichidus, on a single level, is b'malchus. V'asiros and tens, then this is in Zohar, this is in Midas. Umeyos and hundreds, you relate to b'chokhmah bina in Meir. This is a much higher level, and chokhmah bina takes things on a much broader level. Or another way of assigning these numbers. The Yechida is Hein Bezoh Malchus. That the Yechida is the single numbers are Bezoh Malchus and Zoh and Malchus. Zoh and Malchus are together. The reason that we put Zoh and Malchus together, because in fact Malchus is part of Zoh. Malchus is the last of the 7 meters. Vasirois and tens, Chokhmah Bina. That expresses the level of Chokhmah Bina. Meya b'keser, 100, that is part of Keser. As we know from what it says, the life of sorrow in content in the Torah in the following way. 100 years, 20 years, and 7 years. So in this pasuk, clearly, the pasuk is dividing the 3 denominations of 100 and 20 and 7, because you could have said plain, 127. It says no, 100 years and 7 and 20 years and 7 years. The Sheva, so that to explain this is because Sheva Bezoh. Sheva, the single digits, the 7, Bezoh is in the madrega of Zoh. Ve'esrim b'chokhmah bin. 20 is the 10 that's with chokhmah bin. Umeya b'keser, and the 100 is in madriga of keser. Mishkosa b'zeir. And the Zeir writes, Kud shobrihu. Kud shobrihu means HaKadosh Baruch the Iskolil Me'asari law that is drawn and included Me'asari law from a very high place, Asar in the place, the law a high place. Stimo dechol stimo. Stimo dechol stimo means that which is concealed beyond concealment. Concealed beyond, even relative to concealed madrega, which is also concealed. Beraza, the Meir Birchoy. Beraza, Raza means side. In the side, in a simple lingo, the secrets or the inference of Meir Birchoyin of 100 brachas. Ukmeshekosa b'makimacher, and as is written, explained elsewhere by Arichus, at some length, al Maimar HaSeir Hana, on this Maimar HaSeir.
I'm not sure I'm getting much of all this talk about numbers. What the point is, what we're learning here.
Well, we haven't yet really exposed it, but not to be trailing, so to speak, on the periphery. There's a difference even in our thought between 24 hours and a day. Although 24 hours and a day are actually describing the same period of time. When you hire somebody, you're paying for his work. Normally, you're paying for the hours of it. When you are relating at a higher level, on a learning level, or an emotional level, then you will not refer to by hours. Then you will describe it in terms of the reality of the time that you join together. In essence, it is really higher than time. But nonetheless, because everything belongs is in Kalim, so there is a time element, time assignment. But the time assignment is not on the basic time of a time level like minutes, seconds, minutes, hours. You take a day. A day is an entire reality of time. Not just a passage of time, but an entire reality, because day and night are clearly demarcated. Two different periods in the world. Two different realities in the world. And the real term of day, yoim, in the Torah view, is not a day or a night, but a day and a night. That's a day. A day without a night, just a day. That is called oina. Oina means a
Vihi
period.
erev, vihi boker.
Huh?
Vihi erev, vihi boker.
Remember, Yom Echad.
Mhm.
There is what's called Oina, period, and then there is Yom.
So the principle here is that things can have a name that encompasses all their contents, and you can break them out into units. She's 127, she's 100, she's 20, she's 7. What's our
Okay.
point that
We're-
we're...
It's easy to ask questions.
Okay.
No, one second.
Yeah.
I don't mind you asking questions, but I would like, before you ask a question, to focus into it. What is, in fact, what does this mean?
I'm just not clear what to focus on. What does it mean that there can be a higher level where everything's named?
What does it mean that there are certain things you would describe as in terms of days, certain things you describe in terms of hours?
Okay.
I give you an example. A worker performs some work. That will be described in terms of hours. In our time.
But it was said that there's a level where there's a more central level where the time is more, it's not as pertinent. He's on the task, he's an employee, he's with this company, so you don't break him out hourly. On a lower level, we mentioned it's per diem, it's by the specific task, by the specific hour, and you'll pay him hourly. So
Yeah, okay, so you already had the discussion.
this was mentioned, right?
Okay. What is the reason for that? When you go to visit your friend, and you sit with him 60 minutes, an hour, because that's all you can afford. Does this visit deserve a description that this visit was cumulative over a period of 60 minutes? Whereas if a person works for you, you say he did work cumulatively over a period of 60 minutes. Because when you talk about doing work, we're talking about a much lower level. And then that is correctly identified by a cumulative phenomenon. How much work did he do? This much.
Cumulative and 60 minutes is the same thing, we're saying, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay, and by Kayasara identifying the...
No. Okay, so we have the basic understanding of the difference of the various numbers, number assignments. That when these numbers are assigned to things which have a cumulative quality to it, or when the numbers are assigned to things that have less of a cumulative quality, have an essential quality. A day is not accumulation for 24 hours or 12 hours. A day is a day. Because when you speak about a day, you're not speaking in terms of the number of minutes that you spent. You're talking about a principle that was presented there. And that principle is not subdivisible into subcomponents. Why? Because that principle is not created by subcomponents. And he said, sitting with your friends and spending time with him, this is not a cumulative experience. From the first moment to the last moment, it's one and the same moment. So there, the single-digit numbers are not applicable.
Seemingly numbers bichlal are not applicable.
To me?
Seemingly numbers in toto are not applicable.
No, not true. I spent a day with him. That's a correct statement.
But here day is here day is not 1/30th of a month. It's a essential. I spent time with
a day is a day. A day is either 12 hours or 24 hours. In other words, it's a certain significant experience in life.
Yeah, which the point there being we kind of take it out of a unit of time. So seemingly numbers are not germane.
On the other hand, there are 7 days in a week.
Right, but again, it would seem once you're with your friend and you say we spent time or spent a day, you're not. The point is there was an essential relationship.
I would like you to verify it with your own seichel.
That
Rebbe gave us all seichel.
That it's still what? That it's still
there
number.
There are different levels.
Okay, and by taking it out of the hours.
Taking out of hours, you can reach a higher level, but it's still just a level. A day and a week and a month and a year are not the same thing. In the Torah there is 7-year period, a Shemitah. It's a 7-year period. And then there is Yovel, a 50-year period.
And we got into this because of gradations of light, right?
With what?
We got into this topic because we're dealing with levels of light. Like an answer to a kiva? No?
Yes, but we got into this because you asked what is the significance of this when we're saying there'll be singles and tens and hundreds.
Right. And all of this is an illustration of there being the possibility of levels of light. Is that accurate or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As it says here. All right. Let's, since we spent this much time, let's focus in and try to understand why are we on two different viewpoints. You were trying to identify, and I get frustrated with it because no, you're not approaching it right. Right? Very common. But you're doing the right thing. There's a principle that needs to be applied when you learn Torah in general, and Chassidus in particular. In contrast to the way you learn anything in the world, anything worldly. In the world, the only correct way of describing this is in terms of seconds, minutes, and hours.
Those are worldly gradations.
What is the principle? The principle behind it. That in the world you look at it from this angle, and in Torah and Chassidus you look at it from a completely different angle, top down. In Torah, Yovel, 50 years is called Olam. It's like eternity. The Olam. Kind of Olam. It's 50 years. Why is it called Olam? The principal difference is this. The world, as the world is one to think, particularly in today's world, everything is evolutionary. If you would have spent with him 2 hours, you've developed a completely different level of relationship. You spent with him 2 hours. During these 2 hours, you have found out many details about him. That creates a certain understanding and relationship. And the whole relationship is based on that awareness, on that knowledge. Whereas when you come from a Torah perspective, from a Neshama perspective, you say, no, the way we relate is because we are 2 human beings. We are Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. This is what brings us together. How much we know about each other, this is a derivative of that. This is not the builder.
Wouldn't that nullify time?
No. Because he has to come down in Kalim. Come down in a worldly, in a worldly experience. V'haraya, like I said many times, sight is a limitless phenomenon. Like you see, it's automatic, right? You don't have to do anything to say. You don't have to know what you see. Yet, sight too is in the world because you can close your eyes and not see. It's definitely a worldly experience. So this is exactly what we're talking about. Yes, indeed, there is that element, but it has to come down in Cain. And we make a distinction between Chochmah and Bina. Chochmah does not nullify time, but it looks at it in a much higher level. All right? This is it for this morning.
Okay. Good for bringing. That's the Gimel Tammuz for bringing. Okay.